Ja Morant has been in plenty of trouble in the last year. The point guard is serving a 25-game suspension to start next season for his second instance of flashing a gun on Instagram Live. But despite his struggles, one thing Grizzlies Nation has fallen in love with is his giving heart. And as Avery Braxton explains, that kindness will have some fans standing behind him no matter what.
During the holidays, Grizzlies star Ja Morant announced his Ja's 12 Days of Christmas campaign, aimed at giving 12 of his biggest fans a free pair of his signature sneaker. 14-year-old Gavin Schooley was one of those fans, but what Morant couldn't have known was just how much his act of kindness would connect Gavin to one of his biggest influences.
This one's a Chase variant.
There are two things Paducah, Kentucky native Gavin Schooley loves.
So some of my Star Wars Legos.
Collectibles and Ja Morant.
I got 2 Ja rookies when he started playing. Bobblehead right next to his action figure they made. It's like a patch from one of the jerseys he's had.
His newest treasures might be some of the sweetest. A pair of Ja 1s, straight from Ja Morant himself.
I was waiting because I heard the Christmas game, he was going to reveal them. So the whole ride up to my grandparents and back, I was just waiting to see when he would reveal them to see what they looked like.
That's what I always wanted.
Gavin's love for Morant started before he came to the 901, at Murray State, where Morant spent 2 years dominating college basketball. The Schooley's roots at Murray State run deep. Gavin's parents, Brian and Michelle, met there. His grandfather, Phil, worked there for decades. The whole family got an up-close and personal look at Morant long before Grizz Nation did.
Ja Morant, when he was at Murray State, he was Murray State for those 2 years. There's a picture that we have of him shaking Gavin's hand, and you can just see the admiration and just how much Gavin looks up to him.
To celebrate my first signature shoe.
So naturally, when Brian found out Morant was giving away pairs of his then unreleased signature sneaker, he knew his son had to have a pair, but for a reason much bigger than just his fandom.
He was at daycare, and my wife got a phone call, and they said, we found a lump on the side of his hip. Said, when we were putting his diaper on, we want you to come see it.
The Schooleys took Gavin to a local emergency room, and then Vanderbilt Children's Hospital in Nashville. There, Brian and Michelle heard the word no parent wants to hear.
Both of us, when they first said the word cancer, I mean, we were floored. You know, how could a 9-month-old get cancer?
Gavin had stage 3 alveolar rhabdomyosarcoma, a cancer of the soft tissue. After doctors removed it, the 9-month-old had to go through 40 weeks of chemotherapy and then radiation.
It was tough because they had to put him to sleep. I mean, because he had to be perfectly still. He just has the greatest attitude. Even then, it's like the good Lord reached down and knew what he was going to go through and just gave him the sweetest deposition. And you look back at it now and you're like, how in the world did we do that? But then at the time, you didn't think anything about doing it because you had to.
Gavin finished treatment in February of 2010. His parents took him to Disney World to celebrate. The infant had won his battle with childhood cancer.
Over the tree.
Fast forward to 2023, Gavin has been cancer-free for 13 years and helping fight the disease for 8. His dad, Brian, decided now was the time to reward him.
We won them?
You won them.
How?
I don't know. Ja picked you. What do you want to say?
That's awesome.
Brian entered Gavin's story into Morant's Ja's 12 Days of Christmas campaign, completely in secret.
I think I retweeted it every day until they picked.
It was just utter shock. You don't know what it is, because if it's a surprise, there's many things you could think what it's going to be.
Just to be able for them to think that he was worthy to be one of 12 people, you know, it meant the world to him and meant the world to me. That, you know, what he gave a little justification to what he had to go through and what he did with his opportunity afterwards.
Without a doubt, a legendary gift. But the Ja ones Gavin wears aren't number one in his memorabilia collection.
Shoes are probably number 2, because I have the posters and stuff that are signed, like given to me by my grandpa. So they're very special to me.
Phil Schooley, Gavin's grandfather, was a staff regent at Murray State for over 20 years. He passed away suddenly from a heart attack in 2021. The Murray State posters, basketballs, and gear signed by Morant were all given to Gavin by his grandpa. He even got the pair to meet.
It's just tough thinking about him some. I miss him. My grandpa was a big part of Murray, I'd say. And whenever I think of Murray, I don't just think of getting to see Ja play. I also think of him. And it's just cool to think about having wonderful memories to think about from there.
So now, when Gavin sees a high-flying dunk or a flashy assist from Morant taking care of his teammates, he can look at his own feet and know Morant and his grandfather are taking care of him too.
But it just shows that he cares for the people and knows and sees what they go through.
Gavin has since snagged himself another pair of Ja ones, the red and blue Hunger edition. His family has helped fight childhood cancer for the last 8 years with their school cancer drive, first called Gavin's Gold and now known as Pirates Against Cancer. It lets kids pay $5 to dress up in different themes for a week. They've raised more than $15,000 for several childhood cancer organizations, including Memphis' own St. Jude Children's Hospital. The drive is in September, which is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. It's also Gavin's birth month. I'm Avery Braxton.